أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, and welcome everybody, students and parents, to today's class. Our lesson title is on the screen, which is nasalization. Before we start today's class, we have a small announcement which we have to make, which is that inshallah, our beloved Imam, Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ayatollah Ta'ala bin Aziz, will be delivering a live speech today within the next few minutes or so. So we will start our G1 lesson, and as soon as Hazur's speech begins, we will live stream and share that speech for all of the students in the class and parents as well, that we can all participate in this blessed time. Excuse me. Any parent who has two children in the G classes, whether that's G1 or G2, please stay tuned to your G1 until after Hazur has given his final dua, because after that they can log into G2. There is no need to log out of G1 before the final dua. It will carry on until Hazur has completed and finished his speech. Okay, so please everybody take note of that, right? Okay, so we're going to start today's lesson. If we can have our first student to start with our dua.
Assalamu alaikum. Our first student of today's class is A5323.
A5323. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. How are you?
Good.
Alhamdulillah, that's good to hear. Okay, so we're going to start our lesson today with Dawood, Tasmiyah, and our first dua. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Excellent. So, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
Bismillahir rahmanir rahim.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Rabbi
ربي
zidni
زدني علما.
ilma. Well done. Rabbi zidni ilma.
علما.
Beautiful, well done. And the translation?
Oh my Lord, increase my knowledge.
Increase me in knowledge. Excellent, well done. Jazakumullah, thank you for your help. Allah Hafiz.
Hafiz.
Okay, good. So, as I said, today we are beginning a new lesson, which is nasalization. Okay, and the page number is also written there as a reference for you. Okay, now nasalization is, as I said, something slightly different, slightly new, but it is something that you've already seen before. Before we start, just please remember, we should have a quiet space. You should have all done your wudu and you should have your heads covered. Okay, and you should be in an appropriate time for doing your lesson. Okay, so nasalization. So let me just explain what this is, and then we will get on quickly with our lesson. So nasalization, which is also known as gunna, means a sustained nasal sound that is emitted from the nose pipe, right? So mim and noon are the only two letters which emit this sustained nasal sound when they bear the sign of shadda. Now we have done shadda before, which is why I said it's not entirely new, but there is a slight area which is this little W shape here is, remember, shadda. Okay, so a letter which carries this shadda is called a mushaddad letter. So for example, this is a mushaddad mim. Okay, but when the shadda is on a mim or on a noon, like here, okay, this is also known as mim gunna and noon gunna, right? Because when we pronounce this, we will pronounce this slightly differently. We will still hold on the letter and push down on it and harden it, but we will also make a nasal sound and we will hold it for 2 seconds. Now, it sounds complicated, but once I explain it and I demonstrate it to you, you'll understand what I mean. So, for example, in this one here, we have a mim sakin, a mim with a kasra underneath and a mim mushaddad. So we have to join those two, but we also have to harden this mim. And then we have a fatha on top here. So the way we would do this is, and we have to hold it for 2 counts or 2 seconds. This is very important. Okay, 2 counts or 2 seconds. We have to hold that sound. So what that means is when we are reading this one here, we will say mimma, and you will feel the air in your nose pipe, just like you did when we were doing tanween, remember? And we had to look at, we had to make that nasal sound for 2 seconds. Okay, so mimma. So this one here would be thumma, thumma. And please repeat after me at home as well. We will have students on the mic, but I'd like you to repeat at home. Okay, so let's go on to this one. Amma, amma. And over here, ummi, ummi. Okay, so if you can hear, if you listen very carefully, you can hear that I'm holding that meme sound and pushing on it for about 2 seconds. And also you can hear the sound which comes from the nasal pipe, the nose pipe. Okay, and again, there are only 2 letters that do this, meme and noon. Okay, let me move on to the noon just to give you a demonstration. Okay, so here we have a noon with the shadda, noon mushaddad, which is also known as noon gunna, right? And we have an alif with a kasra here. So we will pronounce this inna, inna. This one here, anna, anna. Manna, manna. Janna, janna. Hunna, hunna. Okay, so if you listen very carefully, you can hear that nasal sound, right? So we're going to move straight on. We're going to have a student on the line and we're going to go through these exercises so that everybody, and please everybody at home, remember and make sure you follow and you try to make the correct sounds yourself as well. Okay, so if we could have our first student for the class, please.
Yes, N6344.
Assalamu alaikum N6344, how are you?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, how are you today?
Good.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, so we're going to go through this together, okay, because it's a slightly new term. We're going to go through this, we're going to go through the line and you're just going to follow me, okay, and try to do it as I am doing it, all right?
Okay.
Excellent, good. So we start with Dawood.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Good. So we start here. Give you my hand here. Mimma,
مما
thumma.
ثم.
Right, now this one here, that was very good, well done. Make sure you can feel the air coming out of your nose a little bit, all right? So this one here, can you remember what this sign is here, this stroke?
No.
Right, this is called tanween. Yes, it's called tanween. And when we have this sign, we have to make a nasal sound again for this stroke. Okay, so just follow me when I say it. Jamman.
جمن.
Good, very nice. Amma.
أما.
Hummila.
حمل.
Beautiful, well done, excellent. That was very nice. So I hope everybody's listening at home because again, it's a new lesson. Make sure you're following. Just like we had N6344, just following along, please follow along and make sure you hold and push down on that meme sound, okay? And you make this, you have this sound which is emitted from your nose pipe so you can feel the air coming out of your nose when you are saying this meme, okay? Excellent, good. Jazakumullah N6344, well done.
Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz. Next student, please.
A5328.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam A5328. How are you?
Good, alhamdulillah. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, that's good to hear. Yes, alhamdulillah, I'm very well. Jazakumullah for asking. Are you understanding what we're doing?
Yes.
Excellent. So you just need to follow me. Make sure you hold on this meme here, and the air should come out from your nose a little bit, so you can hear that nasal sound a little bit. Okay, and it comes with practice. So just keep practicing along with me. Okay, so you ready, Tawud?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Ha,
Ha
lumma.
lumma
Beautiful. Now we'll put it together. Ha, lumma.
halumma
Beautiful. Samma.
tamma
Good. Ummi.
ummi
Fa.
fa
Tamma.
tamma
Beautiful. Fatamma.
fatamma
Beautiful. Hamma.
hamma.
Beautiful. So I hope everybody at home as well listening very carefully that we're holding on that meme sound, pushing down on it for 2 seconds, and we're emitting a sound from our nasal pipe, okay, our nose pipe. All right, well done. Jazakumullah A5328. That was lovely. Allah Hafiz.
Office.
Okay, if we could have our next student, please.
Yes, N6329.
N6329. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
How are you today?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah.
I'm fine, alhamdulillah. Are you understanding the lesson okay?
Yes, I am.
Excellent, brilliant. So you just need to follow me through and make sure you're making really pushing down on this meme and making that sound from your nose pipe, okay? So let's start with Dawood.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Okay, mu.
Mu
Samman.
musammam
Okay, just this part here. Samman.
sammam
Okay. Man.
man
Good. Samman.
samman
Beautiful. Musamman.
musamman
Very nice. Good. Umma.
umma
Ummaha.
ummaha
Ummahatu.
ummahatu.
Beautiful. Remember, we need to elongate this for 2 seconds because it's got a vertical fatha there. Okay, excellent, good. Now, this one here, again, we have a vertical fatha. So we need to hold on the meme for 2 seconds with the nasal sound, and we need to elongate for 2 seconds. Okay, so we have amma.
Amma
Beautiful. Ammati.
ammati
Ammatika.
ammatika
Beautiful, well done. Umma.
umma
Ummatun.
ummatun
Good, well done, because again we have tanveen, so again we have to make that nasal sound, okay? Ummatun.
ummatun
Beautiful. Ammi.
ammi
Ammika.
ammika.
Beautiful, very nice. Thank you, N6329. That was lovely. Okay, everybody just keep practicing. Brand new lesson, just takes a little bit of practice and you'll all get really, really good at it, inshallah. Okay, so excellent. We're going to go move on now to our noon gunna. So if we could have our next student, please.
A5326.
A5326. Assalamu alaikum, A5326. How are you?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah.
Excellent, well done. And are you understanding what we're doing today?
Yes.
Excellent, good. So if we start with Dawood, Tasmiyah, and then we just follow me down the line. Okay, off you go.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Okay. Inna.
Inna
Anna.
anna
Manna.
manna
Janna.
Jannah.
Hunna.
Hunna.
Very nice. And make sure you can feel the air in your nose, okay? You should be able to feel the air in your nose when you're pronouncing this sound, okay? Excellent. Jazakumullah. Thank you so much, A5326.
N6327.
N6327. Assalamu alaikum, N6327.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm very well. Are you understanding what we're doing today, okay?
Yes.
Excellent, good. So you just need to follow me. You need to hold down on the noon, okay? And you need to emit a sound which is like a nasal sound, which comes from your nose when we're pronouncing this noon mushaddad or this noon gunna. Okay? So you ready?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Rawuz and tasniya.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim.
So here we have here the noon, and we also here we have to elongate this letter as well because we have an inverted dhamma here. Okay? So let's start with these two first.
Okay.
Inna.
Inna.
Innahu.
Innahu.
Beautiful, well done. Once more. Innahu.
Innahu.
Beautiful, well done, excellent. So next one again, we have to hold on the noon for 2 seconds, push down on it, make the guna sound, and then we have to elongate for 2 seconds because we have a vertical fatha here. Okay, so deep breath, nice deep breath in. Jannah.
Jannah.
Beautiful. We are now going to add this last letter which has a tanveen. So again, we have to make that guna sound. Okay, so Jannatun.
Jannatun.
Beautiful, very nice, excellent, good. So next one, Ja.
Ja.
Hanna.
Hanna.
Jahanna.
Jahanna.
Beautiful. Jahannama.
Jahannama.
Beautiful. So we keep all of these are just 1 second each. Each of these strokes is just a normal fatha, which is 1 second each. The only sound that we have to hold for 2 seconds is this sound when we join these two together. Hanna.
Hanna.
Good. Jahannama.
Jahannama.
Beautiful. Excellent. Okay. Zonna.
Unna.
Good. Excellent. Next one. Now, this is slightly longer, so we're going to break this down, right? So let's start with just doing this section here, right? This is what letter is this?
Lam.
Lam. Good. Well done. So this will be lunna.
Lunna.
Excellent. Brilliant. So now we're going to start from the beginning and we're going to add that at the end, okay? So la.
La.
Latus.
Latus.
Latus a.
Latus. A.
Latus a lunna.
Latus. Alunna.
Beautiful. We'll do it once more. Latus a lunna.
Latus. Unna.
Okay, your voice, the mic cut out slightly there. We'll just do it once more. La tus'alunna.
Luta. Luta. Usna.
La tus'alunna.
Latus. Alunna.
La tus'alunna.
Latus. Alunna.
Brilliant, much, much better. Excellent, well done. So keep practicing that, keep practicing everything else that we're doing with all the other students as well. That was a lovely, lovely sound you're making. You're joining really, really well. So just keep practicing. Okay, excellent. Jazakumullah, thank you for your help. We have our next student, please. Allah Hafiz.
A5313.
A5313.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm very well, Jazakumullah for asking. And are you understanding everything okay?
Yeah.
Excellent, good. So if we start here, okay, so again, this is another one. We're going to start with Tawuz and Tasmiyah, but just look at this as well while you're doing that so that you can see that we have a Gunna sound here and we also have a Tanveen here. Okay, so start with Tawuz, Tasmiyah, and then we'll begin this lesson.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Rahmanir-Rahim. Right, good. Jannah.
Jannah.
Jannatun.
Jannatun.
Good. So make sure again with your tanveen that you hold that light nasal sound for 2 seconds. Jannatun.
Jannatun.
Beautiful. Na.
Na.
Munna.
Munna.
Namunna.
Namunna.
Beautiful. Well done. Next one. Okay. So here, again, we have our vertical fatha here. So we have to hold for 2 seconds and elongate for 2 seconds. So we're just
Can I try it by myself?
You can try it out. You can do it all afterwards by yourself, but just follow me for the moment because as we said, Hazur's speech, inshallah, will start soon. So we just need to make sure we get this exercise done so all the children in the class can follow. Okay? Is that okay? Thank you, Zakallah. Okay, so we're just going to do these 2 letters. Tanna.
Tanna.
Beautiful. Once more. Tanna.
Tanna.
Beautiful. Make sure you can feel the air coming out of your nose from your nasal pipe. Okay? So, fatanna.
Fatannahu. Fatannahu.
Okay, so what we need to do is you need to just do it up to here and just follow me for the moment and then we'll add that afterwards, okay? Fatanna.
Fatanna.
Good. And then this who is just 1 second. We don't elongate that at all. So, fatannahu.
Fatannahu.
Good. Make sure you hold the tan for 2 seconds and the na for 2 seconds. All right? When you're doing that. Brilliant. Lovely. So once more. Fatannahu.
Fatannahu.
Beautiful. Excellent. Right. Now, again, let's just practice this last section here. This is hunna.
Hunna.
Because that's where your nun gunna is, right? So now we'll add in the first section. Fasur.
Fasur.
Fasur hunna.
Fasurna.
Fasur hunna.
Fasurna.
Good, well done, excellent. Now again, we have a tanveen here. Okay, so we need to make sure that we pronounce that properly as well. So we have here a jinna.
Ajinna.
Ajinnatun.
Ajinnatun.
Beautiful, very nice, A5313. That was lovely recitation. Well done. Jazakumullah. Thank you so much for your help.
Jazakumullah. Bye.
Allah Hafiz. Okay, so as I said, everybody is at their own levels. MashaAllah, some of you are picking up really quickly. Some of you are still picking up. You just need a little bit more time. And you just need to focus on each lesson. And that's why the teacher, as the day teacher is following, she wants everybody to follow her. So everybody in the class, whatever level they're at, they understand and they're able to comprehend what's going on. Okay, to understand what's going on. Okay, so we have looked at our mim gunna in exercise 14.1. Exercise 14.2, we looked at our noon gunna. And now in exercise 14.3, we have our mixed exercise. So some of them are mim gunna, some of them are noon gunna. Okay, they are highlighted in red. to draw your eyes to them so you know where your mim gunna or noon gunna is. Okay, but you do have to look out for all the other things that we've done. So our single second strokes are 2 second strokes, like our vertical fatha and vertical kasra, inverted dhamma. We need to make sure that those are pronounced properly, and our tanveen as well. Okay, so please make sure that we think about all of the timing of all of the strokes that we are looking at and all of the letters that we are saying. Okay, so if we can have our next student, please.
Yes, N6310.
N6310. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Is this N6310?
Yes.
Excellent, good. Are you understanding everything okay?
Yes.
Excellent. So if we start with Tawuz and Tasmiyah, and you just follow me down here, okay? A'udhu billahi.
A'udzu billahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Okay, now here we have, this is another mushaddad letter, the kaf. Okay, so we have to join this, and then we will join to the next letter as well. Okay, so Makkah.
Makkah.
Okay, good. So you're just joining and hardening the kaf. Makkah.
Makkah.
Now we're going to join the kaf to the noon. Okay, Makkan.
Makan.
Makkan.
Makan.
Makkanna.
Makan.
Beautiful. Makkannahu.
Makannahu.
Who.
Hu.
Good, because that's also for 2 seconds because of the inverted dhamma. We're going to do that once more, okay? Makkannahu.
Makannahu.
Who.
Hu.
Good, well done. Just make sure you practice that. Make sure you practice making sure that you're elongating. That means making the sound longer. Okay, very good. Good effort. Well done. So next we have Summun.
Summun.
Excellent, good. Mannan.
Manan.
Good. Make sure you hold on that for 2 seconds. Mannan.
Manan.
Good effort. Well done. Okay, so again, we have this alif here, and then we have a hamza here. So a, imma,
Emma.
sorry, a, imma,
Emma.
a, immatan.
Emmatan.
Right, good. Make sure you hold this again for about 2 seconds. A, immatan.
Emmatan.
Okay, so make sure when you're doing your tanveen, again, you have to hold that for the full 2 seconds. Okay? When you've got a letter with the tanveen on top. Right, okay, next one. Let's do this one. La'a.
La'a.
Zunnu.
Zunnu.
La'a zunnuhu.
La'a zunnuhu.
Good, excellent effort. Make sure again that you remember to elongate that last one for 2 seconds. Okay, everybody at home as well, make sure, because now we're getting lots and lots of rules and they're all coming in black. Yes, only the lesson which we are actually doing is highlighted in red. So we actually have to start recognizing what we need to do with all the other letters as well. So that was a really good effort, N6310. Well done. Jazakumullah. Thank you for your help. Allah Hafiz.
Lafiz.
Okay, excellent. If we could have a next student, please.
Yes, A5310.
A5310.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, alhamdulillah. Jazakumullah for asking. Are you understanding everything okay?
Yes.
Excellent, good. So we're going to go through this line. Okay, so there's some longer words here, but you need to make sure that you're looking at all the rules, all right?
Okay.
Excellent, good. So tastawuz tasmiya.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
Okay, good. Hummi,
همي
hummilat.
هملت
Beautiful. Fa, tanna.
فتنا
Good. Make sure you have that nasal sound. So I know it sounds odd when we say it, but remember, like we were talking about the word in Urdu, panka. Yeah, you know, a fan, panka. So
Yeah.
when that kind of sound that comes from our nose, that's the kind of sound that we need here as well. Okay. So
Okay.
fatanna.
فتنا نا
Once more. Fatanna.
فتنا
Good. And remember, it's one of those soft, thin letters, so we can smile when we say it. So we make a soft sound. Okay. So we're going to add the
Okay.
last letter now. Fatannaka.
فتناك
Good. Well done. Okay. Now here in this example, we have two mushaddad letters. Okay. We have the dal mushaddad and we have the noon mushaddad, noon gunna. Okay. So we'll break
Okay.
it down. And we'll make sure we harden both of those sounds, right? So let's start at the beginning. Ya,
يا
sudda.
سد
Good. Yasuddan.
يصدن
Yasuddan.
يصدن
Beautiful. Yasuddannaka.
يصدنك
Good. You need to keep on the dal. We can't make a break there. We can't take a breath there. Okay, so let's try it once more. Take a deep breath in. Yasuddannaka.
يصدنك
Suddannaka.
سدنك
Beautiful. So once more. Yasuddannaka.
يصدنك
Good. So when we're doing the dal sound there, we have to really harden that and make sure we join it to the next sound as well. So keep practicing that. Excellent. Well done. So this again. Yummy.
اليمي
Yummy.
اليمي
Excellent. Good. So here we have la.
لا
Now here again, just listen to the way I pronounce this, okay? La nazi.
لا ننزي
Good. Again, we're making a slight gunna sound here. La nazi.
لا ننزي
Beautiful. La nazi anna.
لا ننزي أن
Okay, once more. La nazi anna.
لا ننزي أن
Good. Excellent effort. Really, those are some really hard words there. A5310. So that was really, really good. Make sure that you try to actually feel the sound in your nose. Like when I said panka, where you can actually feel the air in your nose. Okay. So just work on that. That was really good. And just keep practicing these longer ones, because when you have to put lots of letters together, that's when it can get quite difficult. Okay. Jazakumullah. Thank you so much for your help. Allah Hafiz.
الله حافظ
Okay. Can we have our next student, please?
Yes, N6312.
N6312.
السلام
Walaikum assalam, N6312. How are you?
well
Excellent. Alhamdulillah. Good to hear. Okay, so we're going to just do this last line. Are you understanding everything okay?
yes
Excellent. Good. So you just need to follow me through. and try to be careful of all the sounds and make sure that your timing is in sync with the sound. So if it's a 1 second timing, you keep to 1 second. If it's 2 seconds, you have to take it all the way to 2 seconds. Okay, so are you ready?
Yes.
Excellent. So ta'awuz and tasmiyah. أعوذ بالله
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Okay, so let's break it and do it slowly because it's quite a long word. So li,
لي
ja,
جا
lija,
لجا
hanna.
حنا
Beautiful. Lija, hanna,
لجا حنا
lija, hannama.
لجهنم.
Beautiful, well done. Ta,
ترى
ra, ta, ra.
ترى
Yinna,
ين
tara, yinna.
ترى ين.
Beautiful. Make sure you can feel the air in your nose, like I said in the student before, panka. So you can actually feel the sound coming from your nose pipe, okay? Jannah,
جنة
jannatu.
جنة.
Beautiful, well done. Now here, over here at the end, remember we have an inverted dhamma, so that will go up to how many seconds?
2
Excellent, good, 2 seconds, okay? So, anna,
أن
annahu.
أنه.
Beautiful, well done, excellent. Okay, so here we have a sukoon at the end, so we need to think about that afterwards. Let's start with just these two. Mim,
مم
good. Mimma,
مما
beautiful. Now we're going to join this noon sakin at the end. Mimman.
ممن.
Okay, make sure we hold that meme for 2 seconds before we join. Okay, meme guna there. Mimman.
ممن.
Beautiful, well done N6312. That was beautiful recitation. Well done. Jazakallah.
جزاك الله.
Jazakallah. Jazakumullah, all the students that have participated so far. Really, really lovely recitation. As we said, because this is a new rule, we're taking it slowly. I'm going through it. I want everyone to follow me. And hopefully that way we can pick up and everybody at home is practicing as well. Okay, so we're going to go back up and we're going to have another student, please. And I'm going to go through it with you and then we'll see if some of you can do some of these by yourself as well. Okay, so if we can have another student, please.
A5347.
A5347. Discipline in charge. Any news yet about?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, that's fine. Okay, A5347. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. How are you?
Good.
Alhamdulillah. Excellent. Are you understanding everything okay?
Yes.
Excellent. Good. So if we start with Tawuz and Tasmiyah, well, follow me and then I'll ask you to read some by yourself as well.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Mu. Samman.
مسمى.
Good. Musamman.
مسمى.
Good. Umma. Ummahatu.
أمهات.
Good. Amma.
أما.
Ammatika.
أماتك.
Umma.
أمة.
Umma. Ammi.
Ammi.
Ammika.
Ammika.
Beautiful, well done. Would you like to try this one, please?
Musamman.
Okay, make sure you hold the mim mushaddad for 2 seconds and then the tanween for 2 seconds. So, musamman.
Musamman.
Beautiful. Next one. Have a go.
Oh. Ummahatu.
Beautiful. Well done. Ummahatu.
Ummahatu.
Very nice. Do you want to have a go at this one?
Ammatika.
Beautiful. But make sure you hold again on that meme sound. That's where the guna sound comes from. So you have to hold that sound for 2 seconds before you pronounce the harakat. So you elongate that for 2 seconds. So ammatika.
Ammatika.
Beautiful. Do you want to have a go at this one?
Ummatun.
Good. Again, you have to hold the tanween as well. Ummatun.
Ummatun.
Very good. And you want to have a go at this one?
Ammika.
Beautiful. Ammika.
Ammika.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Jazakallah, A5347. That was lovely recitation. Well done.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz. Can we have another student, please?
Yes, N6358.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm very well. Jazakumullah for asking. Are you understanding everything okay?
Yes.
Excellent. Good. So we're going to ask you some of these noon gana. We're going to go through the line and then I'm going to ask you some by yourself. Okay? Have you got a nice quiet space?
1 minute. Yeah, sorry. Hello?
Assalamu alaikum. Acha, I'm afraid that we will have to call you back next time because we're now going on to our live stream of Hazur's speech. So everybody make sure, please, that you practice the exercises that we've done today, page 66, and we're going to go straight on to our live stream of Hazur's speech. So just a second, please, and we'll make a note of your number for next time.
Who have accepted our invitation and joined us this evening. In the world today, particularly in Western and developed nations, there is a great deal of heated debate about immigration and its effect on societies. Much of the debate centers around Muslims. Certain governments and members of the public fear a clash of civilization and believe that Muslims are a threat to their society and cannot integrate into the Western world. Before responding to this contention, it is important to define what exactly is meant by civilization. In this regard, I present the definition given by the second head of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, which I fully concur with. According to the definition, civilization is the material progress and development of a society. Factors that indicate the strength of a civilization include its economic progress, the level of technological innovation, the advancement of the means of travel and communication, and the intellectual progress of the society. Furthermore, the efforts of a nation to foster peace and stability, whether by virtue of the law enforcement and military proficiency, or by other means of, is also a measure of its civilization. Separate and distinct from civilization is a nation's culture. Culture is a manifestation of the views of a people, their attitudes towards social issues and their practices, and instead of being based on material progress, culture is rooted in morality and the religious values and traditions of a nation. Thus, civilization is the material, technological, and intellectual development of a society, whereas its culture is based on the religious, moral, and philosophical makeup of that society. The difference between civilization and culture can be easily understood if we look back to the early period of Christianity. At that time, Roman Empire was at the peak of its powers. And even now, it is considered as one of the greatest civilizations in the history of the world. Due to their material prosperity, urbanization, and the way its territories were governed, the Romans were considered to be tremendously civilized and educated. However, their sophistication did not equate to higher standards of morality. Rather, it was during the early period of Christianity that their people were infused with a progressive culture. Christianity gave people guiding principle based on religion and morality, whilst the Romans prescribed worldly laws and limits. Hence, the progress and advancement of the Romans reflected their great civilization, whereas Christianity gave the people a laudable culture. Over time, Christianity became the predominant religion of the Roman Empire. And so the culture it established was adopted by a great civilization. Allied together, their supreme influence laid the foundation for the values and traditions that remain today in the world, in the West, despite the fact that people in the West are now moving away from religion. Regarding the debate about immigration in recent decades, the demographics of several Western countries has altered. Immigrants have arrived from many countries, but it has been the influence, the influx of Muslims that has caused most concern and alarm. Many indigenous people fear that mass immigration from Muslim countries threatens their civilization, culture, and values, which have existed for many centuries. As I have explained, we consider civilization to be the material progress and advancement of society. And rather than disapprove, oppose, or deny the growth and development in the West, developing nations seek to emulate it. As a result, rather than Western civilization being cast aside, we are seeing the opposite. Due to the modern means of travel and communication, the world has become a global village. The advent of television, the mass media, and particularly the internet have meant that nothing now remains hidden in the world. And so people who live in economically deprived countries can see how those in affluent nations live. They are being influenced by Western civilization and desire to attain similar levels of material advancement and innovation. Thus, the assertion that Western or European civilization is threatened by the presence of Muslims does not hold water. Rather, Western civilization is influencing other parts of the world, and this includes the Muslim world. On the other hand, a fear that the religious and moral culture of the West could be threatened if Islam spreads in Europe is a more legitimate concern, and I shall now address this point. Firstly, it is undeniable that people are rapidly moving away from religion, and this trend is particularly acute in the West. In Western countries, wherever a census is conducted, it shows, whenever the census is conducted, it shows that people are less and less inclined towards religion or belief in God. Given this, I believe that the rapid increase of atheism is a far greater threat to Western culture than Islam. Western values are centuries old and based upon its religious traditions, and especially on its Christian and Jewish heritage. However, these religious values and cultural norms are under attack from those who oppose all forms of religion and faith. So, as a Muslim leader, I believe you should protect your heritage and culture by focusing your energies on arresting the decline in religion and bringing people back towards faith and belief, whether that be Christianity, Judaism, or any other. It should not be that in the name of advancement, those values and moral standards that have been part of society for many centuries are suddenly abandoned. I also believe that the decline in religion in the West is the main reason people fear Islam, because they know that, broadly speaking, Muslims remain attached to their faith. In light of this, I wish to make it clear that despite what you hear or read in the media, there is no cause to fear Islam. Muslims believe that the Holy Quran to be a final and perfect religious teaching, and it is due to our love and obedience to the Holy Quran that we firmly believe that religion is a matter of the heart and personal to every individual. In chapter 2, verse 257, the Holy Quran has categorically stated that there should be no compulsion in matters of religions. Therefore, there is no need for non-Muslims to fear that Muslims will try to forcefully spread their beliefs or impose their views on this part of the world. The hateful ideology of the tiny minority of so-called Muslims who have adopted extremism bears no correlation with the teachings of the Holy Quran. Indeed, I have said many times that governments and relevant authorities should deal very firmly with extremists, be they Muslims or non-Muslims. In terms of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, we believe that under no circumstances does Islam permit the use of force on any type of coercion in the spread of faith. Why then is there a need to fear Islam? Why do people think that their civilization or culture is at risk from Muslims? Now, after explaining the differences between civilization and culture from an Islamic perspective, I would like to present some of the core teachings of Islam. Many myths and misconceptions about Islam and its founder, peace and blessing of Allah be upon him, have spread, and whilst it is not possible to cover all aspects of Islamic teachings in the short time available, I would like to mention some of the rights of mankind that Islam has established. A very significant verse of the Holy Quran in terms of human rights is chapter 4, verse 37, which states, "And worship Allah and associate not with him, and show kindness to parents and to kindred and orphans and the needy, and to the neighbor who is a kinsman, and the neighbor who is a stranger, and the companion by your side, and the wayfarer, and those whom your right hands possess." In this verse, where Allah the Almighty instructs Muslims to worship Him, He also instructs them to treat their parents with love and affection. How can this teaching requiring Muslims to love and honor their parents clash with any religion or nation? The verse also requires Muslims to treat their relatives and loved ones with kindness and consideration. It requires them to support and comfort the most vulnerable and underprivileged members of society, such as orphans. In this regard, we believe that one of the key ways to help the poor is through education. If younger members of society who are from broken homes or who are stricken by poverty are educated, it will enable them to break free from the shackles of destitution. Opportunities will open up to them, and so, free from frustration and resentment, such youths will grow to be productive members of society, rather than being lured towards a life of crime or gang culture. This is why the Ahmadiyya Muslim community lays great emphasis on education, and within our limited resources, we have built schools in various African countries and fund scholarships for students who cannot afford higher education. We also believe that rich countries should help the weaker nations of the world build solid foundations. If poorer countries can build up their economies and infrastructures, their people will have opportunities at home and have far less reason to migrate abroad. If their nations are stable and prosperous, it naturally follows that the region and the wider world will benefit. In the aforementioned verse of the Holy Quran, special mention is made to fulfilling the rights of one's neighbors, whether they are Muslims or non-Muslims. And it defines the scope of neighbors to be extremely wide. Furthermore, the Prophet of Islam, peace and blessing of Allah be upon him, said that God Almighty had emphasized the rights of neighbors so strongly that he came to think neighbors would be included amongst a person's rightful heirs. The founder of Islam, peace and blessing of Allah be upon him, also taught that a person who is not grateful to the fellow human beings cannot be grateful to Allah the Almighty. What a beautiful principle. Thus, it is necessary that alongside the worship of God, a Muslim must fulfill the rights of humanity. Again, I would ask, how can such a teaching be a threat to Western civilization? Hence, in my view, it is counterproductive for Western people to suggest that Islam or Muslims have no place in this part of the world. If Muslims come here seeking to integrate, to fulfill the rights of neighbors and striving for the peace and betterment of society, then surely this is something to praise rather than to condemn or castigate. That is what has been mentioned by some of the speakers in their speeches about Jamaat Ahmadiyya and the Muslim community. Moving on, some people argue or believe that Muslims are instructed to perform jihad, and so they fear they will come to the West and wage a violent war, seeking to enforce an Islamic civilization and culture and shatter the peace of society. This is based on a clear misunderstanding of what jihad is and why religious wars were fought in the early period of Islam. Islam is not a bloodthirsty or violent religion. Once a companion of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing of Allah be upon him, asked him to join the Muslim army so he could take part in jihad. The Prophet of Islam, peace and blessing of Allah be upon him, rejected his plea and said that because his parents were in a fragile state, he should remain at home and care for them, and that consider that to be his jihad. If the objective of jihad was conquest, bloodshed, and warfare, the Prophet of Islam, peace and blessing of Allah be upon him, would surely have taken up his offer and sought to bolster the Muslim army. I should clarify that whilst it is true that Muslim armies fought in some religious wars during the early period of Islam, this purpose was never to overpower, oppress, or compel people to accept Islam. Those wars were fought to protect the institution of religion and uphold principle of freedom of belief. In chapter 22, verse 40-41, the Holy Quran very clearly states that if the aggressors were not stopped, all churches, synagogues, temples, mosques, and other places of worship would be under grave threat, as the underlying intention of the disbelievers of Makkah was to destroy all traces of religion from the face of the earth. This proves that Islam protects all the religions. Then, with regard to bringing up our children, chapter 6, verse 152 of the Holy Quran states that Muslims must not slay their children. This commandment instructs Muslims to nourish their children with love and affection, to morally guide them and to educate them so that they grow to become highly competent and moral individuals who are assets to their community and nation. Similarly, Islam has taught Muslims to defend the rights of vulnerable members of society. For example, in chapter 4, verse 7 of the Holy Quran, Muslims are obliged to protect orphan children from exploitation and to guard their inheritance with integrity until they reach an age where they can manage it themselves. Furthermore, another very common allegation in the Western world is that Muslims do not respect women or their rights. First of all, it should be noted that Islam was the first religion to give women the right to inherit, the right to divorce, and various other rights. In addition, Islam emphasizes the vast importance of educating girls and giving them opportunities for personal growth and development. Moreover, in a famous saying of the Holy Prophet of Islam, peace and blessing of Allah be upon him, said that paradise lies under the feet of one's mother. These words illustrate the momentous role women play in society and their unique and distinguished status in society. Mothers are the people who have the power and influence to turn their nations into a heaven on earth, and who can unlock the doors to an eternal paradise for their children. Furthermore, in chapter 4, verse 20, the Holy Quran has stated that Muslim men must treat their wives lovingly and respectfully. In Western countries, not a day goes by without reports of the police or the courts being forced to intervene and deal with horrifying cases of domestic abuse. Various studies and reports, such as the 2018 report by the Office of National Statistics in the UK, prove that such crimes are not linked to any religion. And another recent report has shown that the same is true here in Germany. Thus, it is entirely unjust to brand Islam as a misogynistic religion. Islam also requires its followers to respect the religious sentiments and beliefs of other people. The Covenant of Medina was a true illustration of this teaching, where the Torah was recognized and respected as the law-bearing book of the Jews. Islam has even established the rights of a person's enemies and opponents, whereby chapter 2, verse 191 of the Holy Quran states that no injustice or transgression should be done against one's enemy even during a state of war. Regrettably, in today's world, which proudly boasts of being more civilized and advanced than any previous era, individuals and countries disregard the rights of their opponents as a matter of routine and perpetrate huge cruelties and waste no opportunity for revenge. In chapter 5, verse 9 of the Holy Quran, Allah the Almighty has proclaimed that the enmity of a nation or people should never incite a person to sacrifice the principles of justice and equity. Rather, Islam teaches that in all circumstances, no matter how challenging, you must remain firmly attached to the principles of justice and integrity, and never be motivated by a desire for vengeance. As a result of this magnificent teaching, we see the unparalleled example of grace, compassion, and mercy exhibited by the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing of Allah be upon him, at the time of the victory of Makkah, history proves that Muslims were killed, plundered, and tortured in Mecca. And ultimately, they were driven out of their homes and had to migrate. Yet, when he returned victoriously to Mecca and the entire city was under his command, his first pronouncement was that no revenge would be taken from those who had brutally persecuted the Muslims. He declared that in accordance with Islam's teachings, all those who had tormented the Muslims were to be instantly forgiven, and that nobody would be treated unjustly, regardless of whether they accepted Islam or not. Another moral revolution in favor of the weakest members of society brought by Islam regarded slavery, which prior to Islam was rampant and considered a normal part of society. In chapter 24, verse 34, the Holy Quran states that if a slave seeks freedom, he should be released, and if certain fiscal dues are levied, they must be reasonable and payable in small, easily manageable installments, or be waived altogether. In today's world, physical slavery no longer exists, but it has been replaced by economic bondage and servitude, wherein the relationship between the most powerful nations on earth and weaker countries has become akin to the relationship of a master and a slave. For example, loans disguised as aid packages are given by rich countries to weaker nations who have no option but to accept whatever strings are attached. Invariably, the crippling levels of interest mean that the short-term loans lead to long-term misery and liability. The end result is that the defaulting country has no choice but to bend to the will of the dominant nation. Such slavery is utterly immoral. From the outset, Islam also established the rights of non-Muslims and counseled Muslims to show restraint for the sake of the peace and unity of society. For example, chapter 6, verse 109, the Holy Quran declares that Muslims should not even speak against the idols of non-religious people because it could provoke them to speak against Allah the Almighty. In the short time available, I have mentioned only a few points that illustrate the right of humanity that have been established by Islam. I hope what I have said will have reassured you that Islam is not a threat to Western civilization or its culture. If there are any Muslims who usurp the rights of non-Muslims, it is only because they reject Islam's teachings or are wholly ignorant of them. In conclusion, it is clear we are living in a world that is on tenterhook, and I fear the precarious situation we are facing could escalate at any time. People must realize that words can have far-reaching consequences, and so rather than speaking of a clash of civilization or needlessly ratcheting up tensions between different communities, people should refrain from attacking the religious teachings of one another. Instead of seeking to place restrictions upon the expressions of faith, we should recognize that we are all part of one human race, more connected than ever before. We should embrace our diversity and focus on establishing unity so that long-term peace can develop in the world. However, currently we are seeing the opposite. Muslim and non-Muslim countries alike are putting their own interests ahead of the interests of the wider world and are crossing all limits of fairness and morality in pursuit of their goals. Reminiscent of the dark days of the past, opposing blocs and alliances are forming, and it seems as though the world is hell-bent on inviting its destruction. Today, there are a host of countries who have acquired nuclear bombs or other destructive weapons that have the potential to destroy civilization as we know it. Who is to say that these weapons will never be used or will not end up in the wrong hands? If nuclear weapons are ever used, it will not just be us who bear the consequences. Rather, our children and future generations will have to suffer for our sins. Generations of children will be born with intellectual and physical disabilities and have their hopes and dreams shattered through no fault of their own. Is that the parting legacy we wish to bequeath to those who follow us? Surely not. Thus, instead of fanning flames of hatred, whether based on religious or ethnic differences or for political objectives, we must recognize the warning signs and change our ways before it is too late. Let us all, irrespective of our differences, join together and work with the spirit of mutual respect, tolerance, and affection for the peace of the world and to promote freedom of belief. With these words, I would like to thank you once again for joining us this evening. Thank you very much.
Meine Damen und Herren, zum Abschluss dieser Veranstaltung wird seine Heiligkeit jetzt traditionsgemäß ein stilles Gebet leiten. Sie können daran gerne auf die von Ihnen gewünschte Art teilnehmen. Anschließend sind Sie alle zum Abendessen eingeladen.
Dua. Dua. Ameen.
Assalamu alaikum, rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Jazakumullah to everybody who's stayed in the class until right till the end dua. We're going to end our class just with our short prayer. If we could have a student, please.
Yes. A5347.
5347. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
We're just going to end quickly with our final dua. So if you could just repeat after me. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Quick thing, can I do it because I know this prayer and I do it at the end of the Holy Quran which I read.
Okay, for today, yes, you can. Forget.
Allahumma irhamni bil Qur'anil azim waj'alhu li imama wa nura wa huda wa rahmata. Allahumma zakirni minhu ma nasitu wa allimni minhu ma jahiltu warzuqni tilawatahu ana layli wa nahari waj'alhu li hujjatan ya rabbal alamin. Ameen.
Jazakumullah. We don't do the whole dua in this class. I'll just repeat it once more as well, and then you can read the translation. Allahumma arhamni bil Qur'anil azim waj'alhu li imaman wa nuran wa hudan wa rahmah. In the translation, please.
O Allah, have mercy on me through the great Quran, and make it for me the leader, the light, the guidance, and the mercy.
Jazakumullah. Thank you so much, everybody, for your attendance, and inshallah we will see you again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.